I guess this is a good opportunity for you to give me your insight into Ant-Man.
Well, are we going to talk about it next week as well, or because you're going to want to say something? I'd imagine.
I mean, I probably like, or I might just watch it. I'm gonna see it on Monday night.
Well, I can
So
give you a broad thing, I
yeah,
suppose. Why not?
what's your
Eh?
take on it?
So, like, oh god, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between Phase 4 and 5. Not that anyone is shocked by that at all. There's just no signal at all. It's the exact same. It's got all the same massive problems that like Love and Thunder, Wakanda Forever, MOM, Black Widow. It's all the same
What the
stuff.
joking?
Oh god, dude, this one might be one of the worst ones for Marvel humor. There's so many
Really?
scenarios where like people are dying, there's war explosions, then they're just doing this stupid jokes. There's a couple of clips that are online already of people talking about it and making fun of it, and it's just like, yep, this is exactly what you'd expect. The premise for the film, as you may know from trailers, is just that they're all chilling, they're just doing the daily life thing. Scott has sold, like, he created a book and sold it, and he's enjoying life, being like appreciated for being an Avenger and stuff. People are 50-50 on this in terms of like, oh, that's nice that he's living his life and doing his thing. But I was just in there like, is that something that Scott Lang wanted to do? Write a book? And like, I was baffled by it. But then the other thought I had was like, wait a minute, you can't do that. Like Falcon the Winter Soldier was like, oh, he can't make any money. No way, no way possible. It's like Ant-Man wrote a book and he's selling it like on tour. Like, what? Why did Falcon do that? I don't know. In any case, really annoying beginning to the film is like his whole family just ripping into him for being like selfish and not a hero and doing the book and stuff. And his daughter, man, oh, she's a wonderful little activist doing all kinds of wonderful things in the world.
I've
Using
heard
her,
about this. Like she's a fucking activist, and I just think what a horrible position to be in as a father when your daughter becomes an activist. I'd be like, oh
when
fuck off, you
she's like,
idiot.
there's still people in the world who need help, Dad. And he's like, oh, well, oh, gee, oh. And it's like,
It's like I'm
boo.
literally one human being in 7 billion. Like, what do you expect me to do? Fix the entire planet?
Some oh yeah, it was annoying to see because I need to rewatch Ant-Man 1 and 2, but from what I remember of Scott Lang, he's just got like, he's not an ego-driven character, which he's
No,
more of a fun
it's
guy,
he wants to make it in life.
but it
He
comes
just
across
wants
as
to.
though he's like, oh, I'm loving people telling me I'm awesome and a part of like, the heroes that save the world. So, and I think there's like lines like, yeah, you saved the world, there's still a world in trouble though. Also, like the implication being like,
Uh,
Scott, get back on with it. You like the It's kind of weird. There's like this whole dinner table scene near the beginning where they're all kind of ripping into him, and then he like defensively is like, "Oh yeah, well, what are you guys doing?" And then the film just like hard cuts to a different film where they're like, "Scott, let us show you our new project we're working on that relates to the thing you were just talking about." Just like, wait, what? And it turns out his daughter has devised a I think he refers to it as a like quantum Hubble telescope that can map out all of the quantum universe.
uh,
and, and you know, it's just, oh, it's so bad for like character and stuff because Michelle Pfeiffer's character is like, no, no, you guys haven't done now, and she tries to stop them, and then it's too late. They all get sucked into the quantum verse because we find out that they've been dragged down there for plot reasons or whatever. But it's so like, wait, what? And they have these really shit throwaway lines where they're like, why didn't you tell us that what's going on in the quantum verse? Why didn't you tell us not to do this? Why didn't you get me involved? And they're just like, oh, you just wouldn't talk to us about it, so we just didn't tell you anything about all the stuff we're working on. Talking about the quantum, it's literally where she's from. She lived there for 30 years. It's like, but yeah, they said they didn't get her advice on any of it because she seemed awkward about talking about it.
I hate this. I hate this already. I hate the premise behind it. I hate the writing. I hate the entire storyline. It's
And yeah,
just
I'm only telling you premise, guys, so don't worry. The other side of the premise, I suppose you say, is that Kang, as part of the Council of Kangs, was too evil, I guess, and a bit bloodthirsty, and so they
I'm
banished him.
sorry. I'm just thinking about the Counselor Ricks now
Yeah,
from Rick and Morty.
everyone's
He's
gonna
the
be making
most
that joke.
Rick
It's
of all
it's
the Ricks.
perfect. And so yeah, they banish him to the quantum realm, and like I was just like, why didn't they kill him?
Yeah.
It's like, well, they didn't. And you know what? They banished him with a ship that can travel the multiverse, but they took a part out of it.
Oh God.
Or they damaged a part of it.
Why?
Either way, he crash lands, and do you know who he happens to crash land next to? It's Michelle Pfeiffer from when she was first lost in the quantum world. And it looks to be they're in this vast, infinite abyss of quantum shit, and they both landed right next to each other. It's like, okay. Sure, why not? That makes the story happen, I guess. And yeah, they work together for years or something, and she helps fix his ship. But unfortunately, Drinker, again, this is all premise, so don't worry. Unfortunately, his ship is neural linked, meaning if you touch his ship, you'll know everything that's going on in his mind and his history. And so she
Of
does
course.
that, and she finds out he's an evil, evil villain. I remember just thinking, like, this is so fucking lame. This is just the memory store shit. You can't come up with any
Yeah.
good. And once again, you'd be like, how would you do it? It's like, dialogue. You have her talk to him, and he's going to say some stuff that's going to be a bit sketchy sometimes. You'll say something that's a bit slipped. You'll say, let him, you know. And when she does it, he's like, what did you see? And she's like, you're a bad man. And then he's like, yes, it's true. Like, instead of saying something like, oh, what you just saw was nonsense, or someone else, or an alternate history, or a vision, he just says, yep, no, I'm evil. Yeah, you got me. This is like, okay. And he's like, you can't stop me. He even has a line where he's like, there's nothing you can do. And she just throws her Ant-Man things at him. You know, the shrinky, growy things? She
Yeah.
throws them at the most important component of his ship and destroys it. And I was just like, well, there you go. Like, I don't know why he didn't know that was a thing. He just, yeah. And so she gets pulled out in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and he's stuck down there, forever devising a plan to get out. And then, guess what the stakes are, Drinker? You guessed it. Destroy the multiverse. That's what he wants to do. And yeah, so she knows this. She ran a rebel force against him for years before she was pulled out, and she never told anyone that there is a literal psychopathic, nanoscopic king right now in that world trying to destroy us all. She never told anybody.
Because I'm going to be honest, right? Like with Kang as a character, if you're gonna try and like stack him up against someone like Thanos, you're gonna have to like come in pretty hard with this guy. And we had him in Loki, and he was just this goofy guy in an office behind his desk, like just waiting to die because like he was the fun loving Kang, you know, he's just the scientist version. And okay, fine. You know, if he's just a facet of Kang's multiversal reality, then what we need now is the terrifying version of Kang. That's going to really build this guy up as an antagonist because he is the next Thanos, isn't he? He's the guy that's
Supposed to
going
be,
to
yeah.
be dominating the multiverse saga. And so we need to see a terrifying version of him. And what you're describing just seems like kind of a shit one. Like it's just a
Like,
guy who's marooned in the quantum realm because he was too evil or something.
pretty much.
And it
The part
doesn't
that
seem
blows my
like he's
mind.
that scary.
Oh, it's a different performance than in Loki. He's like, he's more reserved and angry and tormented, you could say. But like, I wasn't particularly moved by it. He's still too stupid throughout the movie in terms of everything he does. The amount of power I just want to say he's beaten by ants.
Right.
I mean, they're hyper technologically advanced ants, so you got that, I guess.
I just want to leave. I just want to leave. That's it. We're done. We're ending the stream now. Like fuck it. We're done.
I don't even. There's so much to say. I don't know where else to go with this exactly, but MODOK. I really want to talk to Gary about what MODOK is in the comics because I want to know what any fan of MODOK thinks about what the fuck they've done to this.
What is
It's
he in the movie?
So if you remember Ant-Man 1, I think was his name Darren Cross, I think, was the antagonist
What,
in
the
that
bad
film.
guy? Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
He got sucked down and beloobed into the quantum realm. Kang found him and I guess saved his life, and so he's literally a head with tiny flume arms and legs.
Oh fuck off! No. I thought he just got crushed, like, and he was dead. You know, because he
Nope,
got
he's
killed
back.
inside. Oh
And
god, like the
this
least
part I will
memorable
happily
villain in all of Marvel.
this part I will happily spoil. He spends the film basically talking about how fucking awesome and cool he is and how he destroys everything with his guns and rockets and he's the ultimate killing machine, right? MODOK stands for like only for killing, something, machine built only for something like that. And they make fun of that, by the way. They make fun of his name in the film. It's like a fucking requirement at this point that everyone's names from the comics get made fun of. It's so weird at it. Like, I can't not point out the pattern. They've done this so many times. In any case, he's just like Kang's personal killing machine, but he's kind of like a clown, and everyone laughs at him and throws him around, and everyone insults him, makes fun of his appearance. And then toward the end, um, he fights Ant-Man's daughter and loses, of course. And then he's like, what am I, wait, what am I supposed to do? And she's like, what do you mean? And he's like, I don't know, what am I supposed to do? And she's like, don't be a dick. And he's like, but I am a dick. And then she's like, you don't have to be a dick forever, or something. Like everyone can, and he's like, okay. And then he sacrifices himself to save the multiverse, and everyone makes fun of him for it.
This more no, like what you're describing. This movie just makes me want to stop watching movies.
It's really hard to watch because he's dying, and they walk up to him and they're like, "Thank you so much, like for your sacrifice. Like, thank you for what you did." And then he's like, "It's crazy that I'll die, an Avenger." And then they're all looking at him like, "No, you're not. You're not." And it's just like, why are we doing this shit? I just don't understand. You can't like have any kind of respect or sadness for anything ever.
Well, this is something I heard about this movie, that they started out with a relatively somber and like serious film about, you know, sacrifice and all that stuff. And the directive came down from Marvel that no, we need to inject the usual Marvel humor into it. Exactly like the kind of shit that you always describe, like, well, that was a thing that happened. You know, is that something that permeates this movie?
If you remember, we had a conversation not too long ago where I think you said, judging from the trailer, like this could finally be a movie where they take it seriously. And I think I said to you, no fucking way, it's going to be filled with jokes. Like I said, this one more so than most, I realized like the jokes were hitting me in the head so hard because there's like a scene where a bunch of rebel fighters realize that by Ant-Man and his daughter being with them, that'll give their position away to MODOK and Kang. And so if they arrive, then you're all going to get killed. And that happens. They come in, missiles are flying, explosions are everywhere. And then Ant-Man is just like, you know, make sure you hit people properly. You got to jump up and then hit them. And then she's like, what? And he goes, let me show you. And does it. Then he's like, did you see that? She's like, you're too small. I can't see anything. And then he's just like, oh, you got to do it better. And it's like, it's just all these like really upbeat and fun things. It's literal people like screaming and dying around them. I'm just like, I can't do this. It's so bad. And it happens throughout the whole movie. It's just it's the same Marvel problem, but I feel like it got cranked up here, which is ironic, right? Because you might have expected it was going to be less than usual.
I mean, the trailers kind of portrayed it that way, but then you can cut a trailer any way you want to like give you a different emotional tone, and like yeah, it just seemed like it was going to be a more serious like movie with actual stakes involved, and it just seems like we got another goofy Marvel movie.
Well, to give you an explanation on the ants situation, because I've seen a lot of people are still talking about it. It's like, yeah, I guess we can explain. I'm going to say this. You're not going to understand it, but I'm going to say it anyway. When they all got sucked into the quantum realm, they got sucked into different parts of it by MODOK, and MODOK and Kang didn't know where they ended up. They just pulled them in. And so I'm not even going to start with the likelihoods and of survival and how anything like that. I'm just not even going to go there. But the ants in Hank's room got sucked in too. And they ended up at one part of the quantum realm that Hank says was just far enough and out of the way that they experience like 1,000 years per day for us. And so they've advanced to a hyper, super duper ant civilization. And Drinker, brace yourself. I need you to grab your bottle in case you need it. This is going to be a tough one. The ants have fixed his ship. They're doing this, that, and the other. They're going to be the reason they can beat the day. And Hank says, the camera goes right on him, and he says, you know, socialism is a charged word, but I think you can see that there's a lot of benefits to it. And then he gets cut off, and I was just like, you fucking kidding me, really? Like, did you just compare socialists to an individuality lost hive mind? Like,
I don't want to see this movie.
Yeah, well, you gotta for the people, I guess.
I had this weird like hope somewhere in my heart or my mind that like this would be different. You know, they learned a few of their lessons from Phase 4, and this was going to be a little bit more serious, a bit more grounded, a little bit less about the message, and it was just going to be a better movie overall. And clearly, I was wildly mistaken, sir.
It's shit. But I
Yeah.
mean, if you want to save more of it for when we hit it next week, if you want to, it's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, like I'll watch it, and like if I've got something really interesting I want to say about it, then fair
Hmm.
enough. I think it could just end up being one of those movies where I'm just like, yep, just another Marvel film.
There it is. Yep.